Everybody, I think we want to get started, so if we could, everybody take their seats. Thank you. We're going to start off, we're going to have our interim athletic director, Jared Sumption.
Hello, Wolverine fans. What a great turnout. Thank you so much for being here on this special occasion. Welcome to the Newby Basketball Center on the beautiful campus of Utah Valley University. It truly is a special day for UVU as we welcome our new head men's basketball coach, Mark Madsen. We would also like to extend a special Wolverine welcome to our family, his wife Hannah, and their son William. William couldn't be here because he's practicing his jump shot, and I hear he's also can play the piano too. So we're so happy to be here to welcome both of you to the family, and it's just such a special occasion for us. We'd like to proceed quickly through the program, so I would like to bring up to the stage Vice President for Finance and Administration, Val Peterson.
I'm going to be quick so we can get to the person we really want to hear from, but first of all, we've just made huge strides in our program here. One of the things, obviously, is just this building that we have here, the Newby Center. We want to thank Keith Nellison, who's been a tremendous part of this facility. We also, we've been averaging about 3,000 fans a game, so we continue to increase our fan base. We continue to build the excitement in the Valley, and we've been 3 straight trips to the CBI. The other thing that we've done is the last 2 seasons we had back-to-back 20-win seasons. And so we appreciate everybody who's gone before and made this happen. And we're just excited about the momentum, about the excitement, about the program and where everything's headed. And we know that Mark's going to come in and he's going to be a tireless worker to continue the momentum that we see in this program. And so to introduce our new coach, I'm going to turn the time over to President Tumenez.
Thank you. Thank you, Val. As you know, I'm only 4'11", so I don't stand behind podiums. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to our players, our coaches, our faculty, our donors, parents, friends, family, and the media who are here. We are welcoming and heralding a new era in UVU men's basketball. It's a new day. So I want you to know that the tradition of the president of UVU coming to the games and being on the sideline, screaming and cheering with 2 pom-poms. I only have 1, but I really own 2. Actually, I own 4. I will be there. That tradition will continue. I also want to celebrate the fact that with Coach Mark Madsen, we continue the venerable tradition of having a men's basketball coach who's at least 2 feet taller than the president. Yeah. And since we are known as the scrappy underdogs at Utah Valley University, it is only fitting that we have a new head coach who is also known as Mad Dog. But speaking seriously, why Coach Madsen? Mark Madsen is a person who has succeeded, first and foremost, academically. He finished his degree in economics at Stanford and has an MBA with a certificate in public management. He has also succeeded on the court as a star at, I want to see that dance, actually. Between a dancing queen president and a mad dog dancing coach. all hell will break loose on this campus. So, so academic success is something Mark has lived and known and done. Athletic success, being an NBA champion twice, and also an extensive coaching career. But what I love also about our new coach is his great positivity, his great energy, his great scrappiness, and his commitment to hard work. Malcolm Gladwell said, 10,000 hours. We will be great at what we do, put in 10,000 hours. And I know that you, coach, will be a leader, not only for our amazing student athletes who inspire me every single day to work my hardest and to bring my best self to this university. You will be a leader not only for them, but for 40,000 Wolverines. So, welcome to the pack. Welcome to the pack. And without further ado, please come up. It's all yours. Welcome to Coach Mark Madsen.
When I went through the interview process, President Tuminez was in the room. And she stopped the interview at one point and she said, I have a question for you. She said, imagine I'm a 7-foot recruit from Los Angeles. What are you going to tell me to get me to come to Utah Valley University? She was straight-faced. I sat there, I looked her right in the eye, and I gave her the pitch. President Tuminez, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for embracing me at this university. I could not be more excited to be here. I want to thank Val Peterson and Jared Sumption for inviting me to interview and for running the process as they did. It was an open process. We sat down. We had the interview last Thursday, and then I didn't hear from them for a little while. And then over the weekend, talks picked up, and it culminated with me jumping on a flight from LA Sunday morning, left the house at 4 a.m., and I was here meeting with the team later that day. It's an honor to be named as the head coach of UVU. One thing that I noticed when I walked into this room is legacy. And as we look up on the walls here, Ryan Toolson, Travis Hansen, Ronnie Price, Robin Fairbanks. This is a legacy and a culture of greatness. It's a legacy and a culture that I will continue of greatness. I want to talk about, during the interview, one thing came up, which was, and I'm passionate about this, this program has a rich history in basketball. It started with Dick Hunsaker. Dick Hunsaker helped bring this program from the JC level to the D1 level. That has never been done before, and it will never be done again. To think about the job that Mark Pope has done here is incredible. Mark Pope has had back-to-back record-setting winning seasons. And I called him this morning. He and I had a great talk on the phone, and I told him, I said, Mark, you've left some big shoes here to fill. I'm going to do my very, very best. And so the legacy here at UVU is a legacy of greatness, it's a legacy of growth, and it's a legacy that is going to continue. So grateful my wife Hannah was able to join us here today. When we got married a few years ago, we made a deal. You know, sometimes when you get married, you make a deal. The deal was this. She's a great pianist, and she agreed she was going to learn how to read an NBA box score. And in turn, I was going to learn how to read Mozart. Okay? Well, she's done her part. I still need to figure out mine. I want to thank my parents and Hannah's parents and a lot of family and friends who are here today. It's great to be here. My earliest memory of basketball was being outside in my backyard, My dad, who's here with us today, took a basketball and he said, hold out your arms, we're gonna play catch. So that evolved into a nightly game of one-on-one. And in middle school, I pump faked my dad in the air and leaned into him. And I broke his rib. And luckily, he's recovered. I love basketball. I then went to my high school where I had an unbelievable high school coach, John Rayner, who taught us about character, about hard work, about doing your personal best. Mike Montgomery from Stanford started recruiting me. Stanford was close to home. It was a great program. Mike Montgomery came over for a visit in the home. And at that time, my final two schools were UCLA and Stanford. And while Mike Montgomery was there, I felt his character, his strength of character. I felt his passion for the game. And literally, in an instant, I stood up and I said, I'm coming to Stanford. I surprised my parents a little bit when I did that, but I could feel of his passion for this game. Probably one of the best memories at Stanford was we were playing in the NCAA tournament in the Elite Eight game. We were down by like 10 or 15 points with just a few minutes left. I'll never forget Mike Montgomery during the timeouts. He kept saying, keep working, keep attacking, keep trying. And one of the players on the team, Arthur Lee, kept going. We ended up winning that game and going to the Final Four. And it was a great memory. It was a great group of guys. The goal here for Utah Valley University is to make the NCAA tournament and to have a deep run. After I got off the plane yesterday, I came straight here to the facility, and I met with the players. Had a great meeting in the locker room. What I told the players is that I've watched a lot of tape on each one of you. And on some of you, there's not a ton of tape available, so I've gone back to your previous school. And in some cases, I've gone back to high school footage. In that locker room, these UVU players have unique talents and abilities that can help this program win championships. I want to push them, I want to help them, each one of them, to reach their full potential on the court, in the classroom, in the community. Utah Valley University, when I think about this school and this great university, it's the fastest growing school in the state of Utah. It's the largest by enrollment in the state of Utah. I don't view this as a Utah school or a national school. I view this as a global school. We are going to recruit tremendously here in Utah. We will recruit nationally. We will recruit internationally with a number of contacts that I have and that others have that I'm close to. Recruiting will be a priority. Recruiting starts this week, and I'm ready for that challenge. Style of play. The way the NBA game, the college game, the way all of the games are moving, more space, more opportunity for these talented players to express their creativity, their aggressiveness, and their unique talents. We want to generate open threes and attacks to the basket. And so we're gonna open it up. A similar style of play in some aspects to what has been done recently. We are going to pride ourselves here on skill development. I want to tell a story. When I was in Minnesota, I had a teammate named Antoine Walker. And he had a move. He scored on everybody in the NBA. It was a simple move. And so, I picked his brain on the move. How do you do the move? And he showed me the move. Well, I'm going to make an analogy here because when I was young, growing up, my dad came to me and he said, Mark, our 14-passenger van has a flat tire. I'm one of 10 children in my family. He said, I need you to go fix the flat tire. And he handed me a car jack. And he said, here's the car jack, here's the wrench, go fix it. And he told me a little bit how to do it. So I went out there, turned the car jack, and just by turning that car jack, this multi-ton van was lifted off the ground. And I was able to change the tire. Well, I want to bring that back to skill development, okay? There are some skills in basketball that once you learn them, once you learn the skill, you will find yourself, in the same way that you can raise a huge van off the ground, you can find yourself wide open under the rim if you can master certain skills. Nobody loves an open shot more than a coach, okay? LeBron James uses the same move that Antoine Walker uses. He's mastered the skill. These are skills that I want to bring to this university, to the players, and help us continue this tradition. President Tuminez mentioned the championships in Los Angeles. I feel very fortunate to have been on 2 championship teams. My 3rd year, we were competing for a championship, and we went to the playoffs. In our first round of the playoffs, I'll never forget it, Phil Jackson, our coach, said to the team about 3 days before, he said, Mark Madsen will be our starting power forward in this round of the playoffs. And I remember just when he told me that, I was ready for the challenge. Before the game, Shaq could see that I was feeling nervous. It was my first playoff start. And he came up to me and he literally told me, he said, whatever you do out there, don't try to do too much, don't try to do too little. Go out there and play your game. I've been mentored by some great coaches, some great players, and I consider them friends. I will draw on my previous experience as a player, as a coach, to bring it to this program and to these players. I could not be more excited to be here today. At this point, I would like to open it up to any questions that the media may have.
Mark, we touched on this just a minute ago, but talk about the situation being here in Utah Valley with BYU and having the connection between the 2 programs, but also the competition between the 2 programs.
Utah is fortunate to be a state of great basketball. We can see some of the great leaders and players in the background here. Many other schools also have tremendous traditions. It's my own personal belief that in-state rivalries and in-state games are a great thing for basketball. I think they're a great thing for Utah basketball and national basketball. And so those will be conversations that we'll be definitely open to having and hopefully pursuing opportunities of in-state games.
If you could introduce your name and media outlet. I'm Kyle McDonald from OneTeamAllGreen.com. Mark, when you look at the roster and you see the depth, the athletes that are there, what Coach Pope brought to Utah Valley for next year, which some people think might be the best team they could have had, what's your key in re-recruiting those guys to stay here?
Great question. You said the key word. My job right now, my number one job, is to re-recruit our current players. Thank you. Yesterday, I had the chance to meet or speak with. There was one case where there was a player who was out of state where we were only able to text. But excluding that one player, I was able to speak either by phone or in person with every single player. And I'm letting every player know it is my biggest priority to bring every single player back to this program for next season. And that's the goal, and that's in about 2 hours, we're gonna start workouts here on this court that I'll be leading with all the players. And I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to trying to keep every single player here in Wolverine Green.
Darnell Dixon, the Daily Herald. Mark, it's been a while since you've been in the college game. Mm-hmm. How has it changed, do you think, over that course of that time, and how will you approach some of those challenges?
Well, I think one of the biggest changes in college are the transfer rules. The college game is morphing a little bit almost towards a free agency type of situation, which ultimately I think is fantastic for the student athletes. It gives them more options and more flexibility. And so I'm a huge supporter of that. That's one way it's changed. Another way is style of play. The game of basketball across all levels, internationally, college, even high school, NBA, more space. And that's something that UVU did a phenomenal job of last season. That was evident, and that will be a big principle of mine. I'm influenced in terms of the spacing side of things tremendously by Mike D'Antoni, who's viewed by many as the pioneer in, and these are some basketball technical terms, but the stretch four, at times the stretch five, allowing, again, space for the players to attack the basket.
Kyle Ireland, ESPN 960. Mark, what's the timeline look like for getting your staff together, and then what are some of the traits that you're looking for as far as members of your staff are concerned?
So I can tell you right now that let me start by saying I'm going to interview every member of the current staff. And I know a lot of the guys on the current staff have multiple opportunities. It's a great staff. I also have a list of guys that I've worked with in the past in different scenarios and that I know personally that also bring a high work ethic level, high character, high commitment. Some of the specific characteristics I'm looking for is over the next number of years, we're going to need to be great recruiters. Again, the number one goal being to re-recruit the current players. The secondary goal is to continue to bring in talent. Wherever talent is, that's where we're going. If talent's in South America, we're going there. We're going to recruit Utah hard. Figuratively, I'm going to try to build walls around this state of Utah and keep the most talented players here, okay? We'll go to junior colleges. We'll go to the transfer portal. We'll go to high schools. I speak Spanish. We'll go to South America. Wherever we need to go to get players, we're going to bring players. Secondarily, I want coaches that understand and value skill development. I signed as a free agent to go to Minnesota, leaving the Lakers, going to the Timberwolves in 2003. One of the reasons why I went there is because Kevin McHale and Flip Saunders were on. Flip Saunders was the head coach. Kevin McHale was the general manager. Well, I grew up watching Kevin McHale play basketball. With his skills, he would have the defensive teams flying all over the place, and then he'd be sliding through for a wide open layup. And I told Kevin McHale on the phone, I said, Kevin, if I come to Minnesota, I want you to show me some of your stuff. He did. He has one move that he calls it the slippery eel. And so anybody that's played in Minnesota, they talk about the move, the slippery eel. He taught it to me. I use the analogy of the car jack, which is a tool that helps you do hard things. This move is a tool which helps you get around your man and helps you get a layup. And so coaches that understand the player development piece, coaches that value and understand and love academics, and that are going to push the players to do their very best in the classroom. These are some of the characteristics we're looking for. I don't want to put a time frame on it, but I can tell you we're working very diligently right now to bring that to fruition. Thanks. I did want to do one thing. I know that there's a large Spanish-speaking population here in the Valley, and they've reached out to me, and I just wanted to extend an invitation to all of the Spanish speakers here. Quisiera invitarles a venir aquí, a formar parte de este programa y también para ver allá al lado este equipo de baloncesto. Quisiera invitarles y cuando vengan les voy a abrazar. Muchas gracias. Wanted to open up for any last questions for any of the media, if there are any questions from the media. I think we have a question right here from the media member.
Mark, Dick Harmon, Deseret News. Just of all the people you've met in your career, who had the most influence on your philosophy, on your drive, on your passion for the game?
It's a hard question because I could really share a lot of names. One, as I've been pondering what I'm going to show the players, how I can best help them, I think of the word mastery. And Kobe Bryant gained a huge mastery of footwork. Footwork is vital in basketball. Kobe used to come to practice 3 hours early and just work on footwork. And so seeing that and how that minor thing, how that fundamental skill, obviously he has tremendous other talents. He's 6'7", very athletic, but the footwork and the diligence on such a minor skill stands out. That's definitely one. Robert Horry is another. I'll never forget, we were in a locker room early in my career, and Shaquille and Kobe were in the locker room. And one of the players said, hey, you know we have 2 stars in this room, and the rest of us are role players. And Robert Horry said, hold on. There are no role players in this room. Everyone in this room is a star. Everyone in this room makes a huge contribution. And that was meaningful for me because there were times in that environment where I viewed myself as a role player. So hearing Robert Horry say that made me realize, hey, look, when you get on that court, it doesn't matter who you're playing alongside. You have to be aggressive. You have to sometimes break the offense and make something happen yourself. And so those were kind of two things that I think about often in the game of basketball.
Yes, Mad Dog.
Good.
Can we have the Hannah and the Madsens and in-laws please stand up? Thank you for coming today. It truly is a special day. We'll open up some questions for the media just right off here on the stage for some one-on-ones if you'd like, for about 20 minutes to a half an hour. We are going to clean out this room because we've got something very important to do, and that's basketball practice. And then some homework right after that, right, guys? So thank you once again. Go Wolverines.